Your sandwich no longer just has lettuce, meat, and bread. Now it comes with fuel surcharges, delivery delays, and corporate debt. Prices keep going up, but no one gives a clear explanation. Behind every expensive meal and every product that disappears from the supermarket, there's a story that few people know. Today we reveal the truth about 5 of the biggest food distributors in the United States, companies that supply restaurants, schools, and hospitals that are on the brink of collapse. And it's not just their problem, it's yours, because in this broken system, the final cost always falls on you. Number 1, Sysco, the hidden giant that's starting to crack. If you've ever eaten at a restaurant in the United States, there's a good chance Sysco helped put that food on your plate. As the country's largest food distributor, Sysco supplies everything from steakhouse chains to school cafeterias and military bases. But lately, this giant has been showing signs of weakness. After the pandemic, Sysco faced a massive labor shortage, especially among delivery drivers. At its most critical point, the company was short nearly 15% of its drivers. They tried to keep them by doubling overtime pay, but it was only a temporary fix. This year, in an effort to cut costs, Sysco eliminated many incentives. The result: more resignations, more delays. And when delivery trucks arrive late, it's not the big chains that suffer first, but the small restaurants. An owner in New Mexico said that every time Sysco is late, he has to buy fresh products at local markets at a price at least 20% higher, drastically reducing his profits. The reality is clear: 95% of small restaurants that use Sysco report at least one late delivery per week. Meanwhile, Sysco's operating costs increased by 12% and its shares fell by more than 15%. So, the big question is, when the giants cut back to save themselves, who really pays the price? Because when a food empire like Sysco starts to crack, it's not just a business story. It's a chain reaction that affects every menu, every meal, and, in the end, you. Number 2, U.S. Foods, caught in a price war. At first glance, the name U.S. Foods inspires trust, something domestic, stable, and for years, it was. It's the second largest food distributor in the United States, supplying everything from family pizzerias to luxury hotels. But behind that stable facade, a silent battle is being waged, and small businesses are paying the price. In the last 6 months, U.S. Foods has faced fierce pressure from major supermarket chains demanding one thing: keep prices low, no matter how much internal costs rise. U.S. Foods' response: accepting losses in the retail sector to keep the contracts. But to survive, they quietly shift that burden. Where does that burden go? Straight to small restaurants. Without the bargaining power of the big chains, local businesses end up paying slightly higher prices, receiving lower quality products, and losing access to specialty items. An Italian restaurant owner in Pennsylvania noticed that her mozzarella cheese no longer melted the same way. The taste changed, and her customers noticed it too. In just 1 quarter, U.S. Foods reported an 18% drop in profits, while their delivery costs rose by 9%. The solution? Silent cutbacks, less freshness, more frozen products. And customers are paying for it without even realizing. The problem isn't just the price, it's the value that slowly disappears from your plate. Next time your favorite food tastes different, don't blame the chef. The real reason might be that it's packaged, refrigerated, and delivered late, cheaper, just to save a profit. Number 3, Performance Food Group collapsing under pressure. In the age of drones, artificial intelligence, and ultra-fast logistics, Performance Food Group still operates as if it's 2005. While giants like Amazon and Walmart invest billions in automated warehouses and smart delivery systems, PFG, the third largest food distributor in the United States, struggles to stay afloat with old trucks, manual processes, and a workforce that shrinks every day. The result? Delays, failed deliveries, and chaos in local kitchens. Many restaurants rely on on-time deliveries to plan their week, but when your chicken, cheese, or oil arrives, **, 8 hours late or never, **, the menu gets cut down. A chef in Oklahoma City said he had to remove 3 dishes from his menu in one night because the ingredients never arrived. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's devastating. PFG's logistics costs are at their highest point in 5 years, and short-term warehouse rental has gone up 30%. And even so, they don't have the resources to compete with the automated distribution systems used by retail giants. The comparison is striking. Amazon reschedules routes in real time. Walmart tracks every package with cloud technology. PFG still makes phone calls to change deliveries. So the big question arises, is tradition killing the supply chain? Because in a world that moves at digital speed, being slow isn't just inefficient anymore, it's unsustainable. And who pays for all of this? You do, the diner wondering why their favorite dish isn't served anymore, the restaurant raising its prices, the chef who can't get basic ingredients on time. If we keep clinging to the past, the future will run us over, and with it, an entire industry will go under. Of course, here comes Section 4. Gordon Food Service, schools and hospitals hit first. Written in 300 words in English, with emotional impact, storytelling, and a clear focus on consequences and social relevance. Number 4. Gordon Food Service, schools and hospitals affected first. When you think about food distribution, ministries, schools, and hospitals probably aren't the first places that come to mind. But Gordon Food Service, one of North America's largest food suppliers, has built its empire by feeding public institutions, places where nutrition is essential and budgets are tight. But today, that system is under serious strain. Over the past year, Gordon has faced an unexpected crisis, delayed payments from government clients, school districts, hospitals, and community organizations are struggling to pay their bills on time. Some are falling behind by 60 to 120 days, while others are switching to indefinite deferred payments. And the domino effect is devastating. School cafeterias are cutting down on food portions, replacing fresh vegetables with cheaper canned foods. Hospitals are slashing patient food budgets, swapping traditional meals for processed alternatives. And in some cities, community kitchens have shut down completely, leaving homeless people without any free meals. Gordon, now pressured by debt and rising costs, has quietly started raising prices in new contracts, forcing institutions to either adjust their budgets or accept lower quality ingredients. It's a lose-lose situation for everyone. Here's the harsh truth: children, the sick, and the poor are eating worse, not by choice, but because the system is failing them. When public services can't even guarantee a nutritious meal, what does that say about our priorities? Are we really a society that can't feed its most vulnerable? It's not just about distribution. It's about responsibility. A slice of bread and a carton of cheap milk might not seem like much, but for many children and patients, it's everything. And right now, even that is slipping away. Number 5. C&S Wholesale Grocers, the death of the local grocery store. They were once the heart of neighborhoods, corner stores, family-run supermarkets, the places where everyone knew your name. But today, they're disappearing. And behind many of those shuttered doors is C&S Wholesale Grocers, one of the largest, and yet most invisible, food distributors in the United States. For decades, C&S supplied thousands of small grocery stores all across the United States, from New England to the Deep South. But just in the last 5 years, more than 3,500 independent stores have closed. Why? Because C&S is losing ground to giants like Walmart, Amazon, and Kroger, corporations that now own their own supply chains, cutting out the middlemen entirely. C&S, based on a traditional distribution model, is struggling to compete in a market dominated by speed, automation, and low prices. Rising fuel costs, cold storage expenses, and labor shortages have only made things worse. And when CNS loses contracts, it's not just about business. It's about what disappears along with it, the local store where neighbors used to gather, share news, and connect. A resident of a small town in Vermont said, "When the store closed, I had to drive 12 miles just to buy milk for my grandson. But what I miss most is the people." It's not just about groceries. It's about community, and the question we have to ask ourselves is, are we trading human connection for convenience? As mega chains dominate the market and local distributors disappear, we risk losing more than just access. We're losing identity, relationships, and trust. The next time you buy a cheap item at a big store, think about how much it really costs, not just in dollars, but in disappearing places and forgotten faces. Number 6. The real drivers of cost. What forces these distributors to go under? It's easy to blame distributors when food prices go up. But the truth is that many of them are overwhelmed from both sides, by rising costs they can't control and by demands they can't refuse. Let's start with fuel. Since 2022, new environmental policies have added carbon taxes and fuel surcharges across the United States. The intention: to reduce emissions. The reality: shipping costs have risen by more than 26% in just 2 years. A logistics manager summed it up clearly: a refrigerated truck now costs more than $1,300 a week just in fuel. And this is just the beginning. The turbulence in global trade, from tariffs to crop shortages caused by the climate, has sent import prices soaring. Vegetables from Mexico, up 17%. Processed foods from Europe, up 22%. When import options run out or costs skyrocket, distributors are forced to turn to more expensive and limited domestic sources. Then there's the labor problem. The food logistics industry is facing a widespread shortage of workers, truck drivers, warehouse crews, and cold storage operators. And hiring isn't cheap. In just 3 years, the average salary for a refrigerated truck driver has gone from 55,000 pesos to 78,000 pesos. Add in soaring insurance premiums and you've got a perfect storm brewing. This isn't about bad decisions or corporate greed. These are structural pressures. Distributors like Sysco, US Foods, and Gordon are being squeezed between higher costs and relentless pressure to keep prices low. So they do the only thing left: pass those costs on to you. And this time, there's no more wiggle room. When the next wave of disruptions hits, whether it's a fuel crisis, a flood, or another blow, the system might not hold. It could break. The truth is, this broken system feeds on silence, so let your voice be heard. Leave a comment and tell us what food prices are like where you live. If this opened your eyes, check out our latest video to dive deeper into what's really happening behind the scenes. We spend hours on every episode to bring you the facts that no one else will. So if you found value here, hit the subscribe button. It's just one click, but it means a lot to us. Number 7. Choice disappears because your food options are shrinking. Have you noticed there's less variety at your grocery store than before? Fewer cereal brands, fewer types of sauces, fewer fresh produce options. What once looked like a showcase of possibilities has now turned into a repetitive catalog of the same big brands. But this isn't a coincidence. It's a sign that the food system is shrinking, and you're the one losing out. The problem starts when major distributors collapse or are forced to scale back operations. To survive, they prioritize contracts with large manufacturers who can guarantee volume, speed, and low prices. And what happens to the small producers? They're the first to be cut out of the equation. This phenomenon is called consolidation, and it's happening nationwide. It's no longer just about efficiency, it's about control. When fewer companies control more of the market, they also control what ends up on your plate. A small batch jam producer in Oregon recently said, "My product used to be in 120 stores. Today, only 12. Not because the quality dropped, but because there's no shelf space anymore." This doesn't just affect taste or variety. It affects your right as a consumer to choose. It means your options are determined by corporate decisions, not by your preferences or the diversity of the market. And while the shelves keep filling up with the same products over and over, what's disappearing is the food identity of regions, cultures, and families. Next time you go to the supermarket, ask yourself, is this what I want, or just the only thing they've left me to choose from?